I'm coming with you.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them.
2001: A Space Odyssey might seem like a weird choice to use as a reference for your first trailer for your movie, but that's exactly what Barbie 2023 did, and it is releasing on the same exact day as Oppenheimer, and I know which one I'm going to see. If I had to choose, it would probably be this movie, and I'll tell you why in this video. So Barbie is making a theatrical debut this year with some of the most incredibly attractive human beings to ever roam the planet Earth, and I could not be more excited, and this is weird coming out of my mouth and seeing my face, probably for some of you, and it's a little confusing. Why would I be excited for the Barbie movie? I would not seem like the target audience at all. I think I am the target audience. You know, if someone announced that they were making a movie about the doll that is like famously, for young girls to play with, me being a guy, I never owned a Barbie doll growing up. I haven't really played with a Barbie doll. I haven't at all. I have no experience in what it's like to do such thing. So I am not the target audience for this movie at all. If you announced you're making a Barbie movie, you wouldn't say this guy, Eli, is the target audience at all. And I would agree with you, and I wouldn't think so either, until I started hearing more and more about this movie. Because making a movie about such an intellectual property, and one that's been loved by millions of different people for decades, it's very easy to just pump out a movie, right? Like, anything you do is going to make a lot of money just because it's a property that's very recognizable and people are going to go see it. But what they're deciding to do with this movie is very, very interesting, and they're going in a direction that is so much more clever and inventive and kind of out there than they really needed to go. And I just really am excited to see this movie. Like, honestly, without a shadow of doubt. It's going to be so much fun. I'm telling you right now. And I'm telling you, take all your friends to go see it, because it's going to be lots of fun. And if not taking my word for it, then just go see it because Ryan Gosling is in it. The perfect human life form. He's a superior being. You just gotta go see it for him. Now, the plot synopsis for this movie is, after being expelled from Barbie Land for being a less than perfect looking doll, Barbie sets out for the human world to find true happiness. And you can kind of notice little hints of this in the trailer. Barbie and Ken are kind of leaving Barbie Land and going to the real world to find true happiness. And it's kind of like almost like a dystopian, like Barbie Land is like everyone has to fit in, everyone has to be perfect. And there's lots of potential for these big themes that come out of this movie about not fitting in, about having to be perfect, about having certain expectations and the expectations people have for each other and for other people in their community, and then Barbie being exiled from that and having to go into the human world to try to find true happiness and facing the challenges of the real world is just an idea that's so compelling to me. And it's like, who would think of this? Greta Gerwig, who directed this movie, I don't know too much of her previous work, but this movie is a story about Barbie having an existential crisis, which is a sentence I never thought I'd have to say in my life, and her and Ken setting out for the real world to find true happiness. And this is a story that is, multi-generational. This movie transcends generations and ages and all these different things, and it becomes a movie about an existential crisis, about having to fit in and finding your true self and finding true happiness outside of the community that you're placed in, that you feel like you're stuck in, and the people that you hang around with who have these expectations on you. And it's really a movie that, if it's done right now, I could be wrong about this. I'm fully willing to admit it if I am wrong, and this movie just is not any of that, and it's completely a drab, boring cash grab. I would be willing to admit that, and I will be willing to admit that I'm wrong. But there's so much life to this idea. There's so much, ingenuity and creativity. And of course, you've got a phenomenal cast for this movie. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, just so many, like the cast is super packed. Will Ferrell was in the trailer even, just so many people, and Barbie just gets exiled for being a less than perfect looking doll. What an interesting and compelling story. And again, like I mentioned in the intro, 2001: A Space Odyssey. They chose 2001: A Space Odyssey for the first teaser trailer. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a story that, in the beginning with the intro for that, for the intro of the first trailer, it was a story of human evolution and how humans have evolved and societies have evolved. And what you can see from the trailer of this movie is this picture perfect, everything is absolutely the way it's supposed to be. society and one where everything is super down packed and everyone's supposed to go along with everything. Like all the Barbies are saying hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie, and all the Kens are saying hi. The two Kens have a little feud, but I'm suspecting that we won't spend that much time in Barbie Land at all. And okay, it feels a little weird to be nerding out over specific details about a Barbie movie, but this movie really has me engaged, and I'm serious. I am, without a shadow of doubt, fully invested in Ryan Gosling. But secondly, the Barbie movie, of course. Because this movie is looking to do something different, you know? It's not your same blockbuster churned out for just the purpose of making money, which is very easy to do when you're making a movie about such an intellectual merchandising property like this movie is centered around. And if it were put in the hands of Disney, I'd say they'd just put out this lifeless cash grab. But this is not that at all. This is changing the face of cinema. And I mean that not necessarily as a joking way. I think this is going to shock a lot of people. And it's a movie that really has a polarizing theme and vibe and aesthetic, kind of because it's a movie that goes so weird into the wacky, and it's so specific that only a specific group of people, like, you're either going to love the premise for this movie like I do, or you're going to hate it. You're going to be like, what? This is so weird. I am not going to watch that movie. I don't like that. That's really out there. I don't know what they're doing with that. Which is completely understandable, because this movie is not focused on trying to just please as many people as possible. Probably first of all because it knows that people are going to watch it anyway, because it's a very intellectual property, which I understand. But the premise is such a turnoff to so many people that they just don't care about those people, and they just care about making this movie about Barbie having an existential crisis, which is, again, something I never thought I'd be able to say, but this movie is really going there. It's going for this story that seems it's about finding your place, finding yourself, finding where your worth is, and that's a movie that I would love to see. And I know I'm going to love to see, because it's going to be amazing. And I think it's going to rock your world. I think if you're sitting here watching this video going, I think this movie looks really, really weird, I would agree with you. It does. But it looks like a movie that's going to make a profound message. The weirdest movies are often the best movies, you know. Like Tim Burton, he makes some weird stuff, man. Like, Tim Burton makes some of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. A guy who has scissors for hands and goes into this town, much like the Barbie movie society, this like picture-perfect town. This guy kind of comes in and kind of turns the whole thing upside down with a phenomenal actor like Johnny Depp, Tim Burton working with him. That movie, it's such a weird premise. It's weird. I don't know what he's on for his mind to come up with kind of stuff like that. But the movie itself is such a heartfelt and heartwarming and entertaining movie. I loved it. I loved Edward Scissorhands, that's what I'm talking about for those of you who don't know. Edward Scissorhands, which is a great movie, great heartwarming movie, but it's a really weird premise, really, really weird. And the Barbie movie seems to be no different. This is a really weird premise. It's going to turn a lot of people off. It already has. A lot of people are saying, I'm not going to go see that movie, and that's completely fine. But if you sit here and look at a little deeper into the details of this movie, there's a lot more here than meets the eye. And it's a movie with a lot more to say than just Barbie dolls are cute and fun to play with for little girls. And it's a movie about so much more than that. And I hope it will be, actually. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so who knows? It could be completely awful, and it could be the biggest train wreck disaster of all time. And again, if that happens, I'll be completely willing to take the heat for that. Because I'm making a lot of assertions here that I know nothing about. But just from the first two trailers, it seems that this movie is going to be pretty mind-blowing. And something with a lot of creativity. And there's a spark there that could grow into a gigantic flame that takes the world by storm. It already has, kind of. A lot of people, like-minded to me, are looking at this going, I think this is going to be pretty great. And there are people in my own household who don't think this looks great. And that's completely fine, because that's the beauty of art and cinema and movies, right? Is that we can disagree on things, we can have different interests, different things can appeal to different people, and that's completely fine. And this movie definitely appeals to me for one specific reason, but other than that, the movie itself seems like it has a lot to say, and there's going to be a pretty powerful message. It seems it has the potential to. And I don't think they'd miss an opportunity to follow up on that with such a jarring premise. I think it's going to be awesome. I love everything that we've been seeing for this movie so far, and not just because of the way the actors look. So, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed hearing my thoughts and you agree with me, then be sure to comment down below. What do you think of the Barbie movie? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Or, somewhere in between? I don't think there's really anyone who's in between, like, I don't know about it. I think there's people who are like, that looks really weird, or that looks really great. So anyway, either way, comment down below. And if you want to see another video by me, then please click here right on my face. I've got more videos out right now, and I think you'll enjoy binge watching through them, all of my thoughts on certain things. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.